Today's video, we are going to talk about the localized PPC campaign strategy that I'm using on different accounts that I'm managing to get extremely profitable results. If you got a campaign that you're running on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, you apply this tack-on strategy to whatever you're doing, and I can assure you, you can get at least twice the sales from the same ad spend or more sales at the current level of cost per conversion or ROI you have just by using this localized PPC campaign strategy for your business. Okay, I'm going to go through several examples of where we use this already, including one for a sales training company to show you how this works in practice so you can replicate this for yourself. This strategy right here, in short, all that it is just at the beginning of your video, your ad or whatnot, is to say, hey Alabaman, hi Iowan, hi Texan, at the very beginning of your ad. So you basically take what it is that you're already got on your ad already, whether that's video ad or Facebook ad, whatever, and then put that at the beginning of your ad, and that in and itself will double your results. Furthermore, if you know, the more you know about your prospect, your buyer, your prospective buyer that you're marketing to right now, the more you can get in terms of a sales lift. Instead of double, we're talking maybe triple, quadruple by incorporating that also into your ad or just layering it on top, such as that if you know that somebody who you're going to sell to, 20, 30% of them like luxury goods, and you put some element of that inside your ad that you have, you will get another, oftentimes doubling of your results just by doing that. So instead of saying, hey Iowan, if you had a luxury purse underneath your arm for that person that likes luxury goods, you can double your results again. Why? Because it gets the user's attention and a lot more than it would otherwise. The more anything you're doing online, the more targeted your ads are, the better they work. Just like I talk about on this channel all the time on Google, if somebody's looking for black shoes with brown polka dots, if you put that into your ad instead of just saying you sell black shoes, your ad's going to have a higher response rate by 2 to 3 times automatically because people click on what's relevant to them. Well, if you just by saying that user's city or state, you're automatically more relevant. The higher the click-through rate on your ad, the less you're going to pay per click because your cost per click from your audience is directly related to your click-through rate. This is just an easy, automatic way to get your click-through rate up on your ad and therefore be able to double, triple the amount of money you're making from your ad, given that you get more penetration from your audience, and on top of that, your cost per click is going to come down at the same time for a double benefit. So I'm going to explain how this worked for the sales training company, go a little bit into the other companies that we worked this system in for on their campaigns, and then with that, of course, you have everything that you need to apply this to your own company. So with that said, if you have an ad campaign, you're already running, like I mentioned, on basically any place outside of search engines, but for the most part, we're talking about Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube, or Google Display Network, if you want to add that in there as well. You can make more money, at least twice as much more money, by adding a localization or localized element to it. As I mentioned before, what this basically encompasses is you have your ad as it exists right now. And by the way, if you haven't had an opportunity to make YouTube ads work, this is the type of thing that can obviously triple the amount of money you're making from your ads per dollar, which could put them over the threshold where they are profitable for you. Who knows? But you have your regular ad, you say what you say on there, and then you're just going to simply make a Texas ad, Washington ad, California ad. You're going to make one ad for every state, and then depending on what state they're from, they're going to see that version of the ad. If you're talking about a local business, you could do the same thing, but instead of saying, Dallas, you say, Arlington, or you have an Arlington ad, which is part of Dallas. And you have, another part, each part of Dallas, the Dallas metro area that you may cover in your service business or whatnot, you have a different ad for every part of the city, just like we would normally do on Google search ads that automatically get better results there, to where we always know that if you're on a search ad, to the point where I do it every single time now, that if they're from XYZ part of the city, we're going to put that into the ad because that's relevant to the user and it gets their attention. Ads that run on Facebook or YouTube, it's the same exact thing. Saying that user's location in the ad, even though for a service company isn't as relevant because there's no element you're probably having to go to that customer. The main thing is it gets that user's attention. It makes you seem more relevant and therefore trusting as well. So to give you an example of where we use this for a sales training company that comes in and actually takes your sales process, refines it, helps you figure out how to make it work better for your company. We had a YouTube campaign that we were running for this client, and I was the one who helped them with the video ad, given most clients that we have at our agency do not understand how to make good video ads for a YouTube campaign to get them to work, which is, by the way, why most people don't run YouTube ads, because they don't know how to make an effective ad. It's not, obvious for most people, we'll just say. But we had a video ad that started out with basically this basic message here. It said, do you have a company sales process that you feel is a little less than ideal? Do you want to see your leads close at 2 to 3 times the rate they already are right now? That's the starting part of the video, which, by the way, the secret of YouTube ads is to start out your videos with a question like that, stating, do you have this problem? We have the answer. And we have not only the answer, but this is what you're going to get for the end result. Packing that into the first 5 seconds of the video so they don't click the skip button. Because if they don't click the skip button, you'll get more people to watch the video. The more people that watch the video per time it shows up, the less you're going to have, the less cost per click you're going to have to your site, because every time it shows up, you're paying. So whether or not you get people to get to the end of the video and click through, that's up to you. You have to have a good video ad. So you want to get your cost per click as low as possible, because if you get it low enough, or to a certain point, the ad campaign has a chance to be successful now because you're paying a very low cost per click, given you need the cost per click to be so low before the campaign becomes profitable. Because obviously, as you know, there's a point in which the cost per click is low enough, you will always make money. If I could give you free traffic, it would make money. Well, what's the point where the traffic stops becoming profitable? What cost per click does that happen? Anyway, that was the script. Getting back to the topic at hand, all we did, as we normally have done several times now, because this is a go-to part of our strategy to make campaigns work on YouTube, we just said, hey, fellow Alabaman, which this is kind of crossing the line in terms of ethics, to where you might not want to say, hey, fellow. You might just want to say, hey, Alabama. But we know for sure it works even better to say, hey, fellow Alabaman, or hey, fellow Iowan, and then get into your sales pitch as you had it. You'll end up making even more results. Why? Because people buy from people that are like them. It's why during sales pitches, you're supposed to monitor how fast the person's talking and mirror, they call it mirroring your speed of your speech to theirs, because it'll get you a sale at a higher rate. Well, this is no different than an in-person sales pitch as you're talking about YouTube ads and what's going to make them more effective. So just the fact of going from, do you have a company sales process, blah, 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 like I said, to, hey, fellow Alabaman, so that people from Alabama got that custom message, as well as every other state, we got roughly 2.5 times more ROI from the campaign than we had before, because it greatly increased the click-through rate of the people that got to the end of the video and clicked through to our landing page than we had before. Just simply by doing that brain-dead, simple tactic that you could easily apply to any campaign that you have, video ad or Facebook ad or LinkedIn ad that you have for your business going on right now. If your campaign works, it'll make it more profitable. If you haven't had success, it'll have a good chance of making your campaign successful, given it will automatically make the ROI, whatever you were trying before, better. On top of that, though, that isn't all. You can also take this one step further. This has nothing to do with local, but what else do you know about that prospect? The more you can incorporate what you know about that prospect into your ad, the better the click-through rate is going to get. So you can multiply the amount of multiply the success you have with your ad campaign as it sits right now. One thing you can do with Google's data, if you're running a YouTube campaign now, you just go into Google's free data that they give you under Audience Insights, and they'll tell you what, in terms of the people that click through your ad and buy, or just click through your ad in general, what traits that they have. Are they luxury travelers? Do they like golf? Do they like music? Whatever it is. Do they like classical music? If they like classical music, guess what you should have? Classical music playing in the background in your ad while you have your video playing. Why? Because that'll increase the conversion rate of your ad. And with that, you can find the people that are interested in classical music because Google gives you that data. So anybody who likes classical music, you can have them see one version of the ad that has classical music playing in the background, whereas everybody else got the standard ad. And then that will increase the click-through rate on your ad for those people who like classical music, or automatically because you have that incorporated in there. For the sales training company that I was talking about before, we had, and obviously this takes a lot of time to do, by the way, which is why if you look at the Audience Insights menu, you find the traits that are most common, because Google tells you of the traits of the people who buy from you or click through your ad, these are the ones that have the highest hit rate. And they'll have, so that with that, you just create a different version of your video ad or whatnot for each one of those top 10 things that they say that have the highest hit rate that match up with the customer list that you have or lead list that you have of the leads that you have coming through your campaign already. And one of the things for the sales training company was people in that market like to golf more than anything else that Google could put a finger on as to the traits that, of the people that respond to our ad, that the traits that they have most often in our list there. So once we knew more than anything else in the sales training market that we were targeting with our ads, they like golf, we had the same exact guy who read the script sitting at a golf course in a golf cart and reading that same script again, also still with the localization here of the state. But then adding in the element where sitting in the golf cart, we got an additional 0.75x ROI in addition to the 2.5x ROI just by saying the state up front. So you can see how you can stack your gains. Obviously, if we took this a step further and we knew the guys that we were marketing to here not only were in Alabama and like golf, but like classical music, and we had classical music playing in the background while the guy was talking on a golf cart and in Alabama and said, hey fellow Alabaman, and the guy's talking in a golf cart with classical music playing in the background, there would be a lift from the fact that we said estate up front. There would be a lift for the fact that the guy was sitting in a golf cart at a golf course. And then there would be a lift because the classical music was playing in the background. So each additional thing that you add in there, you can almost guarantee it's going to increase the profitability of your campaign. Yeah, obviously the problem is it's going to be a shit ton of work to do this on that level, right? You can only create so many assets, which is why you want to look at what traits are the most common in your list. Google gives you that data for free. And even if you're not advertising on Google or YouTube, you're advertising on Facebook, you could take your list of customers, upload it to Google, and they'll give you those audience insights for free. Facebook used to give you those audience insights so that you could tell which traits are most common in your customer base that you have or lead list that you have. But Google will do that absolutely for you as a way to entice you to advertise there, even though you don't have to. That data will be free either way. But, you could just basically decide and work out to what level does making your ad customized for that user who's going to be seeing it worth it to your business. Do you want to do this on one level? Do you want to do this on 2 levels? Do you want to do it on 3 levels? One level, you're going to have to make 50 videos or 50 ads. You do this on 2 levels, and there's 10 traits here that match up with your customer list or that you have. You're talking about 10 times 50. You're talking about 500 ads now, which is still doable, but a lot more work. You do this on 3 levels, right? Now you're talking about thousands of ads. And even though that would be productive, for the most part, that's not going to be feasible or logical to do. Even we're not doing that. We're going to pick out, in a lot of cases, 2 times though, particularly in that audience insight list that Google has, there'll be of the top 10 things, top most common traits that people that are on our list have. We pick up the top 3 or the top 2 that have way more in common on our list than any of the other ones that are in the top 10, and just do an ad for each state, but for those top 2 things. So that really there's only essentially 150 total ads, because you're still going to have one ad that says the state that doesn't have those 2 traits, and everybody that's in that state sees that ad. And then there's going to be one version of that state's ad that has trait number 1. So we're going to create one version of the ad that has just by itself the state, one version of the ad that has the state plus one of the most common traits that we found from Google's audience insights, and then one ad that has the state, and then the second most common trait that we found on Google's audience insights that they give us. So we have 3 possible options for each state, 150 total ads. You get the general gist of this, what can be done. The more work you put in to make your ad appeal to the taste and the interests, what you know about the user, the better the results, better the click-through rate you're going to get, which automatically means the better the ROI you're going to get. If you double your click-through rate alone, that'll cut your cost per click in half, because that's pretty much how it works. Okay? You're actually on the internet, they call it pay-per-click advertising. Really, it's pay per impression, or pay time per time the ad shows. You get a higher amount of clicks from every time your ad shows, you're going to get, you're going to directly pay less per click. So the more you can get from each time your ad shows, the more you're going to make per dollar spent on ads. Anyway, you get the gist, like I said. We also, though, as I mentioned, bring this up on this video as well. We did this for not just this company, this sales training company, but lots of different companies before at this point, including a company in the life insurance settlement space, where if you have a life insurance policy that you want to sell the cash value on, we had a company where we did it there, just to give you an idea of where else this potentially could work. So just in case you're saying, well, I'm not a sales training company, so I don't think it'll work for my stuff. It'll work for your stuff. I guarantee you basically that it will work. But just so that you also know, we've done this a lot in the consulting space. We've also done this in the product engineering space. So if you're trying to make a new product for you're trying to develop a new product for your company, you need an engineer to help you design and make it. It's a company that's specialized in helping business owners do that, or entrepreneurs do that. We also got it to work in that space as well. So, and for instance, in the product engineering space, it's a product engineering / development company. You may not think that it matters that we knew that people that we normally sold to, like sports in general, may not think it matters if they like sports in general. It certainly matters. People like talking to people that are like them. You can call it unethical, but the more you can pretend like you're like them, the more that they're going to like listening, hearing, and agreeing with you. This is Sales 101. It's been true forever. You could put this together, this is especially true, and you can especially do it in the online marketing world, given the targeting capabilities with online marketing is basically endless. And the free data that these ad networks give you, i.e. Google, that tell you about your customers and what they're like, is almost endless. So if you're not going to use the data to your advantage, well, you're just throwing free money away. And furthermore, there's data where if you take your customer list, you can go to companies that will tell you about your customers other than what Google provides. They're called, you can Google data expansion companies, and they'll tell you, you give them your customer list, and they'll tell you everything about those customers, what they like, what kind of sports they like, what do they like to eat, or like what kind of restaurants they go to, and on and on and on. So you can actually get that information, and then with the targeting capabilities of the ad networks, of where you're advertising on Facebook, on YouTube, or whatever, you can use that to your advantage. With the unique creative for each one, you can multiply your results from your current campaigns that you're running every time. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I'll wrap it up with that. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a like and consider subscribing, as I have a ton of other content just like this on this channel that'll tell you how to make millions of dollars with your online ads for your company. Coming straight from the source on somebody who just does ad strategy all day long for different clients. Not a YouTuber who's just spouting out BS and speculation on what works and what doesn't. I'm telling you the stuff that we find works on an ongoing basis with all the testing we're doing at our agency. So subscribe to get this information that comes straight from the source. If you like my channel, you'll also like my blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, as well as my column that I write and have at entrepreneur.com. If you are looking though for an ad manager just to take over what you're doing with your ads and want more results, don't want to do the work that I'm talking about here, want more ideas like it and working with somebody directly that can help you, this is exactly what I do at my agency. And I also guarantee all the work that I do, in that if you don't get more sales results from what you're doing right away from what I'm providing, we do not charge any fees at all. Whatever you pay us can just basically be coming from the profit that you make on your campaigns. That's the signature service that we have here at Guaranteed PPC. The only catch is we don't work with just any client out there, but if you want to see if we can work together, reach out to me at my agency and I'll give you a free analysis on your stuff and tell you what we can get as far as sales results in addition to what you have, short, medium, and long term, and then you can basically decide what you want to do from that. Of course, and the assessment that I would provide with the plan that would tell you how to get those results is all totally free. So if you're interested in that free assessment, reach out to me. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. As a side, if you are looking for results and don't necessarily want to hire an ad man like myself or agency, you can actually take us up on our campaign templates that we offer at the agency and get the same results that we're getting in your market simply by copying and pasting the ad templates, campaign templates, landing page templates that we've developed for your market already for another client in your space, and get the same results we're getting in your market already that we've built up over years within a relatively short period of time of using those in your ad accounts. If we've worked in your market before, it would be silly not to take us up on our offer of our templates, as certainly it's going to cost you more time and money and effort to get the same results that we have, having had use our clients' money to do all the testing over the years to find results in your market. You can just have them all for yourself for a very low one-time fee. These templates work so well, we even have people using these templates to start other side businesses where they're selling the leads or they're partnering with people to do the operational side of that business. And because they have their hands on a campaign that's basically can't lose, they have a working business that works straight out of the box and it's almost completely just passive income. If you're interested in that and to see though if we've worked in your market and what results we've got in your market that you could get with our templates, let us know. I'll be happy to share that information with you and what is available in terms of the results with the fee that we would charge for the templates, which is a very low fee. If you're interested in that, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. With that said though, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, you saw a lot of value out of it, and I'll see you on the next one.